Alright, it's Hood Handyman back with another video. I know it's been a long time since I did a video. I apologize. This might be the first video that I've done in 2024. I apologize. I've had a lot going on, but I'm back. And I want to say, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'm gonna say that off top, because I know in a lot of videos I forgot to say that. But for those who have subscribed, I'd like to say thank you for subscribing to my channel, my Hood Handyman channel. What I have here is a 2008 Ford Focus, and what happened with this car is the radiator started leaking. It had a leak somewhere. So on these cars, sometimes this piece right here, it cracks, and I put a little piece of metal or piece of plastic in between so I could cut it where it was leaking and bypass this area here on this Focus. This problem is quite regular on this car, and this piece goes all the way around and it goes back here. Now they make the piece metal so you don't have to go through this. So somebody finally got smart and they put a piece of metal, they replaced the plastic part with a metal part. So I checked, and that's not where it's leaking. So I jacked it up the other day, and I looked underneath, and I saw that it had a leak way over here, and you can't see it. But when I looked at it, I just assumed it was the radiator. Before I take this off, I assumed that it was the radiator, so I just ordered a radiator. That is true. I do need a new radiator. But where it's leaking from, okay, so right here it's got a pinhole leak. If you look, it's right under there, and I really didn't notice it. I didn't notice it until I started and let it run for a while, and I figured it was just a radiator. But at first I said maybe it's this clamp, because when I went and looked at a radiator repair, I said it could be that clamp hooking up that hose, because it doesn't have like a regular clamp that you tighten up. It has literally a clamp, one piece of metal that you like pop in, and it holds the hose. I don't know how it does it, but it does it. As you can see, somebody's replaced this radiator before, so I ordered one, and I basically ruled out that it needed the hose and it needs the radiator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some JB Weld there, and I'm going to hold it. I have a radiator on the way, but I'm going to run the car until I get the radiator in and get enough time to replace it, I should say. So that's where we're at. So let's do it. Alright, I'm going to be putting the JB Weld right up along here, just over this bar right here. I'm going to put it right there because that's where the crack is. So I'm opening the JB Weld. They do have this new product, I don't know how new it is, called JB Weld Extreme. And that product's supposed to be really, really good as well. But I read a review, and some people said just use the original JB Weld. So I'm going to stick with what I know and heed that advice. So basically I'm just puncturing the hole right here. Some of it's starting to come out, so I'm just going to put the top back on. I'm going to puncture the hole here. And again, a little bit of it's coming out, so I'm going to put the top back on until I'm ready for it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a nice little dash here, a little bit smaller than a dime. You don't need that much. Just put that there. And then the main thing, the most important thing, is make sure you have a dash about the same consistency and same size of the other compound. We put that up there, right? Now once you have both of those there, just take I use a Q-tip. It's always worked for me. I get as much of the as much of the fuzz off the Q-tip as I can, or tear it all off. Then I just take it and I mix it together, and that's basically it. And I make sure that I spread it out over the whole area, so the gray pulls in with the black and the black pulls in with the gray. And once I got it all to a gray consistency, then I'll gather it up and put it right down in this crack right here, in this little space where it's coming out at. I kind of press it up along there all the way across. Like I said, I have a radiator on the way, but I'm going to be doing some driving tomorrow, and I don't even know when I'm going to install the radiator. Maybe the weekend. It's Monday today, so this crack is so small that the water spits out like really minuscule, but it adds up. So those drops start to get bigger and bigger and bigger as it, because it's steady. So when it's coming out of your radiator, I mean, it's when it's adding up, when it's falling on the ground. So you think about it, you're driving for an hour and you got about a Coke can amount of drops coming out. That can add up. Then if it's really hot outside, you might have to pull over. Not only that, who's to say when the crack's gonna get bigger? That crack was so small, like I'm basically done already. I mean, that's pretty much it. I just put it in there, and that crack was so small that I didn't even need that much. I'll throw a little overlay in there anyway, as long as it looks neat, just to make sure I got it. Just bring the little stick around like that. Just make sure I kind of put a double little coating over there. And just let it sit overnight. The extreme one is for like extreme heat. You're going to put it on mufflers and all that stuff, I usually don't mess with the stuff with extreme heat. But I have put it on a radiator before on a bigger crack than this, and it really held up. So, that's what I use it for. But yeah. I should have marked exactly where it was coming out at, but I know where it was spitting at. It was spitting on this bar right here and hitting this bar and then dripping downward. So it wasn't dripping from the top because it would have overshot. So let's check it, see what we got. Alright. Yeah, so that looks good. In about 14 hours, it should be ready to be put back in use.